Happy morning greetings to all dear children. I hope you all are staying safe at home. For almost 1 week you had your revision tests and you all were preparing to show your best in your exams. And today I'm really very happy to have you all back for the online learning classes, children. Welcome back dear children. Let's start with a new unit from your English textbook. Your third unit has one lesson and one poem. The topic of your lesson is Glimpses of the Past. I repeat the topic again, children. Glimpses of the past. What is the meaning of glimpses? Okay, many of you might have already known, but some of you doesn't know the meaning of glimpse. The meaning of glimpse is a quick and an incomplete view. Quick and incomplete view is called a glimpse. You will have lots of glimpses about some of the important events happened during the British rule in India throughout this lesson, children. This lesson was taken out from a novel written by S.D. Seventh. S.D. Seventh was well known as Shivaji Seventh. Okay, he was a well-known Indian novelist in Marathi language. Okay, he was a writer in Marathi language. He used to write many poems, stories, and even novels in Marathi language, which in later days it was translated to all other languages like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, as well as English. And he got so many awards for many of his novels. You can see picture of SD 7th in the right corner of this page. He was born on 31st August 1940 in Kolhapur district of Maharashtra. Um, he was a writer, as I've already told. He was a teacher as well, and he was also an editor. Okay. He passed away on 18th September 2002 due to a cardiac arrest at the age of 62. He has written a novel called Mriti Unje. Mriti Unje is a Marathi novel. He was well known for that novel, and this was the famous novel that he had written. So this Smriti Unji was translated into English language, and it was titled Victory Over Death. Okay, and that novel was entirely based on the life story of a leading character in Mahabharat. His name was Karna. I think you all have heard about stories of Mahabharat. Mahabharat is an epic, and there was a famous character called Karna in Mahabharat, and his Mriti Unje novel was entirely based upon the life history of Karna. Okay, that novel gave him lots of awards and lots of medals he got for that novel. Okay, and he was well known for that novel, and he was also um, the vice president of Maharashtra Sahitya Parishad since 1995, and he was a president of Baroda Sahitya Sammelan in 1983. Okay, this was all about our author, and let's move on to our lesson. Okay children, this lesson gives some of the important glimpses about the events that happened during early and later British rule in India. Okay, so your storyline starts uh, between 1757 to 1857, that is uh, until the beginning of the first war of independence. Okay, the first war of independence took place on the year 1857. So until the first war of independence, your story continues. Okay, from 17th century. Your story starts with the heading The Martyrs. What is martyrs, children? Okay, martyrs means people who were killed because of their beliefs in politics or religion. They are called martyrs. Some people would have strong belief either in politics or in their religion. So because of their beliefs, because of their strong belief, they will be killed by some other people in the society. So those people who were killed are called martyrs. Okay, children, your lesson starts with an event that happened in Delhi. Okay, so this event was uh, organized in order to celebrate Republic Day. Okay, uh, during the event, the eminent singer, one of the eminent singer of India was Lata Mangeshkar. Okay, I think many of you might have known who was she. Lata Mangeshkar was a a well-known singer in India. She started to sing about the martyrs of Indian freedom movement. She sung a song in Hindi, okay, but all the lyrics in the song denoted the martyrs of Indian freedom movement. Now, we wanted to know why this event was placed in your lesson. This was placed as an introduction to the historical background. Okay, so we should analyze why she sung this song. Okay, what is the reason behind this song? And that is why they have placed this at the starting of this lesson. Okay, children, so let's move on to the next topic. So the next topic is about the events that took place between the era 1757 till 1849. Okay, so you can see page number 37 of your textbook on the rightmost corner of the slide. So here the first image is the image of Indian map, and you can see the year 1765. India 1765 is written here the map. So this is how India looked like in the year 1765. So you can see two different shades of color in the map. One is yellow, another one is red. So the yellow color denoted the regions ruled by Indian princes, whereas the red color denoted the regions ruled by British people. And during 17th century, Britishers were called as British East India Company. Okay, Britishers came into India to sell their goods that was manufactured in England, and the Indian princes allowed them to sell their goods here. So how come the people who came to trade in India started to rule the entire nation is what is mentioned in this topic. Okay, let's see how. Now, children, from this map you can understand that many of the regions are occupied by Indian princes, and during that time Indian princes had constant fights among themselves. Okay, so uh, during a war, the opponent who had less military power will join hand with another prince who will have stronger military power in order to win the war. Okay, this was a normal custom during a war. So when British East India Company came to India, they had superior weapons, and all the princes liked them because they had very strong weapons. So without knowing the consequences that will happen, uh, once they joined hands with British, these princes started to join along with the British people. So some of the princes liked the British very much and they joined hands with them. Slowly, British East India Company started to bring Indian princes under their control. Okay, so only few kings and princes understood the strategies of British, and they started to fight back. So some of them, so one among them was Tipu Sultan. You might have heard about Tipu Sultan. Okay, so this man fought back against the British until death. So until he dies, he was fighting back with British. Not only him, there were many other princes who fought back British. Okay, these are the princes who understood the strategies of British. So during that time, there were two sorts of people among Indians. So one were called landlords, another were called commoners. Okay, so landlords are the people who own their own lands, who has their own lands, and they are wealthy. Whereas commoners are people who don't own any lands for themselves, whereas they work for the landlords. Okay, so now because of the friendship between the native princes and British, there were two different views among the Indian people. Okay, so the landlords were very happy in the beginning because their lands cannot be looted anymore by the foreign princes. So that is why they are very happy. Whereas commoners understood British strategy. They were speaking among themselves and they were thinking that they will soon become slaves to foreigners. Okay, so this means landlords like the unity between the native princes and the British, whereas the commoners do not like that. Okay, let's move to the next topic, children. So now, after this, Britishers started to expand their territories in India, and British rule and British laws, okay, triumphs throughout India. So the next topic is the period between 1765 till 1836. So after this, British started to rule over India. Okay, so let's see what happens after or during the rule of British in India. So during this time, there were many religious leaders who preached ideas like untouchability and child marriage. Children, you might have already heard about untouchability and child marriage, I think. So let me explain it in detail again. Untouchability is a habit among certain group of people among the society. These minority group of people do not like to mingle with people like manual scavengers, sweepers, and washermen. And they thought that mingling with these people is a sin. Okay, so this is what they thought, and that is a very cruel habit. And the second most dangerous habit that was spreading during this time all over India was child marriage. Okay, so child marriage means uh, children under age 8 to 10, children from age 8 to 10 are forced to get into marriage. Okay, so that was a very very cruel practice. Okay, so this happened to spread throughout India during this period. Okay, so because of these practices, and one more practice, that is domination of women. Okay, gender domination, they called. So they dominated women and they considered women lower than men. They don't like women to speak up when group of men are standing. Okay, and they also said that women doesn't have any rights that a man has in a house. Okay, so this was also a very cruel practice during that time, during that 17th and 18th century. So all these practices were very weird to British people, and because of this they considered Indians as fools. Okay, they call these practices as foolish practices. Okay, so now what happened was the British started to scorn Indians. Okay, so now actually Britishers came to India to, you remember children, for what Britishers came to India? Yeah, they came to sell their goods. They are the real merchants in India. Okay, so they needed to expand their business in India. Even though they started ruling the Indian people, they behaved in a business minded way. Okay, so being merchants, the Britishers wanted quick profits. Okay, so in order to get quick profits, they started to impose heavy taxes on farmers. India is a country where farming is called backbone of India. Okay, so this is a country entirely dependent on agriculture. Okay, so foreigners, I mean the Britishers, understood that very well, and in order to get taxes from the local farmers, to gain profits, they imposed heavy taxes, okay, on them. So because of that, many of the farmers abandoned their fields and they sold their fields to Britishers because they couldn't able to pay the taxes uh, imposed on them by the Britishers. Okay, and also Britishers invented another method to gain profit, that is all the goods from England or duty free. Okay, there is no duty imposed on England goods. This made local businessmen, I mean the native Indian business people, to lose their business. Okay, so now this crippled Indian industry, that is the East India Company's laws began to cripple Indian industries. So this is what happened between the year 1765 till 1836. So moreover, apart from these things that Britishers did, there was a natural calamity that happened between 1822 and 1836. Okay, so during that time there was a very great famine, okay, throughout the country, and many of the Indians died during that time. It was it was it was recorded that 15 lakh Indians died during the famine between 1822 till 1836. They died out of starvation. It was recorded so. Okay. So your storyline moves on to the next level. So obviously, if something evil happens in a society, there will be some people who will stand against those evil. So that will happen in a society every time, not only in the past. Okay, so since Indians are losing powers, and many of the customs that was brought into India, like child marriages and touchability, are considered to be cruel practices by most of the Indians. Some of the people, educated Indians, started to speak against those evil practices and also against the British rule in India. Okay, so one among such social reformer is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Okay, he was a learned man from Bengal. Okay, so he belonged to the place of Bengal, and he understood what was wrong with the country. Okay, so he understood why Britishers started to rule India and what is wrong with the country. He understood well. Okay, he was born on 1772 and he passed away on 1833. Okay, so this man was the first person from Bengal to speak against the evils happening in the society and also against the laws imposed on Indians by British. Okay, so he said that all the all the superstitious beliefs that is happening around Indian society should be should be abolished. Okay, he was telling that it ruined Indian society. All these superstitious beliefs are ruining Indian society. So this was his voice against the evil practices. Okay, so he was very much attracted by science and modern knowledge. Okay, so since he was a learned man, he was educated, he was attracted by science and modern language, he hated those superstitious beliefs. So he also started a newspaper, and in the 18th century, but Britishers suspected this man because they thought that this man started newspaper in order to stand against British rule in India. They suspected him and they stopped him and his newspaper in the year 1823. So he did not stop with this. He wanted to know how this British people are so powerful. Okay, so he crossed the seas. It means he traveled to England and he made a speech among the British people, and he told them that you can rule us, but you should consider us as subjects, and you also should know what are the norms by which a subject should be ruled. Okay, so he told this to the British people. Okay, okay, children. So with this, I'm going to wind up with today's session. I hope you all enjoyed the topic. So that was a long history dated back to the 17th century, and we also had seen how British entered India, how they occupied our country, and how our local Indians fought back against the unlawful acts of Britishers. So everything we have seen, and you have furthermore topics to be moved on and which we could see in the next classes, children. Today, uh, I I wanted all of you to read the topics in your lesson. Okay, so you have to take your book. You have to start from page number 36. Okay, your lesson starts from page number 36, and today I completed till page number 39 of your lesson. Okay, so you are going to read from page number 36 till page number 39. Okay, today. So today you also have Zoom interaction session, so you can note down your doubts and you can note down the words that you don't understand. You can ask the meanings to me during Zoom interaction session, children. And if you want to share any other thing regarding this lesson, you can feel free to share during the interaction session. Okay, children, thank you. Have a great day.